So this morning I was digging through my dresser, packing things up, getting ready for my move, only to find this. The Atheist Test. This little track. I opened the track, read a few lines, laughed, and said, this is going to make a video, simply because I searched up the Atheist Test, and it took me to Ray Comfort's website, Living Waters. So this is a track made by the Banana Man, also known as Ray Comfort, whatever you want to call him. But this is so poorly written, this is so terrible that I had to make a video about it. So, let's open the first page of this and see what it says. Look at that. Bang! Bang! And it says, the theory of evolution of the Coca-Cola can. Billions of years ago, a big bang produced a large rock. As the rock cooled, sweet brown liquid formed on its surface. As time passed, aluminum formed itself into a can, a lid, and a tab. Millions of years later, red and white paint fell from the sky and formed itself into the words Coca-Cola 12 fluid ounces. Of course, my theory is an insult to your intellect, because you know that if the Coca-Cola can is made, there must be a maker. If it is designed, there must be a designer. The alternative, that it happened by chance or accident, is to move into an intellectual free zone. So the first point that I'd like to point out in this track is, you say, bang, the theory of evolution of the Coca-Cola can. What a lot of theists and Christians seem to misrepresent when it comes to evolution is what evolution is. Evolution does not describe the Big Bang. Evolution does not describe the start of the world. Evolution simply means change over time. Things change. Things evolved over time. That's really what all it means. A lot of theists and Christians like to think that if you are an evolutionist, therefore you believe that the world happened by accident, that the Big Bang just popped us into existence, when there's a lot more things to consider and a lot more things within science that give us answers to these questions, that show us that no, we didn't just pop into existence by accident. I do not believe we came here by accident. This track then goes on to talk about the banana, and if you've watched any of my previous videos on Ray Comfort, you would know that I've already made a video addressing the banana argument for designer. He uses the little same analogy, which I've already refuted in my previous videos, so I'm not going to go through that, but here's some other interesting things that he says in here, which I'm going to address. Could I convince you that I dropped 50 oranges onto the ground and they by chance fell into 10 rows of 5 oranges? The logical conclusion is that something with an intelligent mind put them there. The odds that 10 oranges would fall by accident into a straight line are mind-boggling, let alone 10 rows of 5. And as you can see here, he has a bunch of little oranges, and he goes on to say blah, 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 and how these oranges could never have fallen perfectly in place. I really hate it when Ray Comfort uses the term chance or it happened by accident, because that's not what we believe. In any event, one of the biggest things that I cannot stand about this track is that it proceeds to say that if we don't have an answer for something, God did it. It's known as kind of God of the gaps, where if you don't have an answer for something, you instantly throw God in that gap. If you have a gap of space, then you can't explain why something occurs or why something happened, or if we don't have a scientific answer. But for most of these questions and the analogies he's used, we have answers. We know, to an extent, we know and understand how the Big Bang happened. There's evidence of, is it background radiation? It's some type of red radiation that we've found out in space of when the Big Bang occurred. I don't know what it's called. I think it's radiation something. Correct me, I'm not a scientist, so I don't know all the terminologies. But science has shown us that things have happened, and there has been a reason for why they have occurred. And just because you don't have an answer for something, to throw in God into that gap, into that answer, I think is very poor. It shows that you're not really you're not opening up your mind to other answers. If you're so willing to throw God into every explanation that you have, it goes to show that you have poor rational thinking skills, or you don't want to think whatsoever, and you'd rather just go the easy way out and say, well, I don't have an answer, God must have done it. This is another interesting thing he says. The declaration, there is no God, is what is known as an absolute statement. For an absolute statement to be true, I must have absolute knowledge. Here's another absolute statement. There is no gold in China. For the statement to be true, I must know that there is no gold in China. or the statement is incorrect. To say there is no God and to be correct in the statement, I must be omniscient. Here's the thing. I, as an atheist, and many other atheists that I know, do not claim to know that there is no God. I do not believe that there is a God. I'm not claiming that I know that a God could never or would never exist. That's a big thing. And some atheists will claim there is no God, but I don't claim that at all. And to claim that atheists all think this way is a misrepresentation of atheists. But I'm not done yet. If you are reasonable, you will have to say, quote, having limited knowledge I have present, I believe that there is no God, end quote. In other words, you don't know if God exists, so you're not an atheist. You are what is commonly known as agnostic. You are like a man who looks at a building and doesn't know if there was a builder. Alright, we're done with the track. This is something that I want to address because a lot of people seem to get confused on what's an atheist versus an agnostic. Atheism and agnosticism both deal with questions regarding God's existence. Atheism strictly involves what we do or do not believe, while agnosticism deals with what we do or do not know, knowledge. One of the biggest mistakes regarding agnosticism and atheism is that they are both mutually exclusive when they are not. There is nothing about the statement, quote, I don't know, which excludes the statement, quote, I don't believe. They are in fact compatible because they frequently appear together because not knowing is frequently a reason for not believing. The real point of this video is to explain the difference between atheism and agnosticism. Remember that atheism deals strictly with belief and what you do not believe. Agnosticism deals strictly with knowledge and what you don't know. An atheist doesn't believe in any gods because there's not enough substantial evidence to prove to him that a god exists. An agnostic doesn't know if any gods exist or not. And these two different positions, agnosticism and atheism, can be exactly the same person. Or they don't have to be. So I go back to your original statement, Ray Comfort. If you are reasonable, you will have to say, quote, having the limited knowledge I have present, I believe that there is no God. In other words, you don't know if God exists or not, so you're not an atheist. You are what is known commonly as an agnostic. So I hope that clears that up, Ray Comfort, because that is not the case, and agnosticism and atheism are not mutually exclusive, as you tend to try to argue in this terribly written, poor track. And I could go on, and it's just a biblical track and then uses lots of Bible verses, which I'm not going to get into. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow reptiles. Hope this clears it up. This was the Atheist Test. I wouldn't actually call this a test because there is no testing involved. If this was a test, I would say it's the test for stupid people, like Ray Comfort. In any event, thank you guys for watching. I'm working on a video right now titled The War on Christmas, which is going to probably be my first political video addressing Sarah Palin, so be looking out for that. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Daniel Solzbach. Peace the rep out. Have a fantastic Tuesday. Well, it's not Tuesday for you because you're probably watching this on Thursday, I think. Anyway, peace out.